Soft, slow tone, as if you're whispering a secret to someone who's never been told something this pure before. Have you ever taken a breath so clean, so silent, that you felt your lungs pause in disbelief? Not from shock. Not from fear. But from awe. There's a place in Norway, not famous like Oslo or Bergen. It doesn't appear in every travel magazine. It doesn't shout to the world with flashing lights or massive crowds. It whispers. And in that whisper, is something that resets your entire being. A forest. Not just any forest. A living, breathing cathedral of silence. A sanctuary of green that has been scientifically measured and officially recognized to have the cleanest air on planet Earth. Yes, cleaner than the air inside a hospital's surgery room. Let that settle in for a moment. In a world drowning in smoke, metal, cement, and noise, this place exists. And I went there. But before I tell you what it did to my heart, my mind, and my breath, I want you to imagine something with me. Close your eyes, unless you're driving, of course. Picture yourself walking through a narrow path, carved not by men, but by time. Moss grows thick on either side, like nature's carpet. The wind isn't loud, it glides past you, almost reverent. It smells like snow, but warmer. Like rain, but purer. Like life, before we ruined it. The trees tower above, not in arrogance, but as guardians. They've stood here for hundreds of years. Not watching. Listening. And the moment you inhale, you feel it. Something deep shifts. Your chest expands as if it finally has room. Your mind softens. The constant buzzing of digital life fades. For the first time in years, your body doesn't brace for the next notification or next rush. It just breathes. The name of this place? It's called Rondane. A protected national park nestled in the heart of Norway, far from the factories, the highways, the cities. Here, nature isn't a background. It's the story. But why is Rondane's air cleaner than a surgery room? What makes this particular forest so radically different? That's the secret we're going to unfold together in this video. But I promise you, this isn't just a story about air. It's a story about what we've lost, and what still can be found. A story about how a single breath, in the right place, can heal more than 100 medicines. And I want to give you every single detail, not just the scientific facts, but what it feels like to walk through it. The plants. The cold. The way your body reacts. The way your thoughts slow down. This isn't a documentary. It's an experience. But here's the thing. As we take this walk together, if at any point you feel your body lean in a little closer, if your breath slows down, or your curiosity spikes, I want you to tap that subscribe button. Just gently. Like touching the bark of an old tree. Hit the bell, not to be disturbed, but to stay connected. To these stories. To this quiet rebellion against noise. And if you know someone, just one person, who's been holding their breath too long, maybe they need this. Share this video with them. Let's breathe together. Ready? Good. Now, follow me. Let me show you a forest where air is not just clean, it's alive. And it's waiting for you. It's called Rondane National Park, and it lies quietly between valleys and mountain ridges in central Norway. Most travelers miss it on their first visit, because it doesn't ask for attention. It's tucked between the regions of Oppland and Hedmark, far from industrial zones, major roads, or even popular ski resorts. There are no fast food chains nearby. No tourist traps. Just a long, winding road through sleeping hills, that eventually opens into a world unlike anything you've seen. Once you cross into Rondane, the silence hits first. It's not an empty silence, it's rich. Heavy, even. Like nature is holding its breath, waiting for you to notice her. And you will. Now, the question you've probably already asked yourself. Why? Why is the air here so much cleaner, so much purer, than anywhere else on Earth? Let's start with what's not here. No factories, no highways, no urban sprawl, no heavy machinery, no pesticide farms. It's not just that pollution is absent. It's that the land itself filters what little remains. Rondane is home to some of the oldest forests in Scandinavia, with trees that naturally purify the air. Lichens and mosses cling to rocks and bark, absorbing toxins and releasing oxygen in the gentlest way possible. And then, there's the wind. The air currents here don't flow from cities. They're born in the Arctic North, descending fresh and untouched. They roll across glacial lakes, through alpine valleys, and into this forest basin like silk. Before reaching your lungs, this air has been filtered through layers of ice, pine, lichen, and snow. No smoke. No exhaust. Just the breath of the planet, as it was thousands of years ago. But it's more than just clean. It's medicinal. Researchers from Norway's environmental agencies conducted extensive studies on this area. They measured particulate matter, microscopic pollutants found in almost every city, and found levels so low they were scientifically negligible. To give you context, a typical city may have a PM 2.5 level of 40 to 70 micrograms per cubic meter. Rondane? Less than 1. Even the air inside hospital surgery rooms, which is filtered, sterilized, and pumped with advanced systems, doesn't reach that level of purity without mechanical help. Here, nature did it on her own. And unlike machines, she doesn't need electricity. Just balance. Let's talk about the trees. The majority of this forest is made up of Norwegian spruce, mountain pine, and silver birch. These aren't just trees, they're lungs. Each one absorbs carbon dioxide and releases oxygen in cycles far more sophisticated than any artificial purifier. Some of these trees are over 400 years old. They've survived blizzards, avalanches, droughts, and silence. And they continue to stand, filtering, exchanging, breathing. Scientists believe this particular forest is self-correcting, meaning even when minor pollutants arrive, the ecosystem adapts and eliminates them quickly. The forest's natural pH levels, microbial composition, and temperature stability help preserve this balance without human intervention. But there's something deeper, something science can't quite explain. When you breathe in this air, you don't just feel cleaner. You feel woken up. Your body responds differently. It slows down, not from exhaustion, but from trust. Your cells don't brace for toxins. They expand. And maybe, just maybe, that's what healing really is. Not some expensive wellness retreat. Not an app. Not a supplement. But a moment. In a place. Where you remember what it felt like to just breathe. Next, I'll tell you about the plants that live here, not just the trees, but the medicinal moss, the alpine herbs, the lichen used for centuries in natural healing. You'll want to hear this. Because in this forest, every leaf is a remedy. Every scent is a story. And hey, if this has touched something in you, even just a little, I invite you to be part of this community. We tell stories here that don't shout. We explore the corners of Earth that aren't in brochures. So click subscribe, it's free. But the moments we share here? They could change the way you see the world. And maybe, the way you breathe. So, now you know where this forest lies. And why its air is the purest on Earth. But what's in the air? Not just oxygen. Not just stillness. There are scents. Invisible trails of medicine floating gently with every breeze. And those come from the plants, the quiet chemists of Rondane. Let's begin with the moss. This forest is covered in deep green moss, soft enough to sleep on. It blankets fallen logs, rocks, even entire tree trunks. But this isn't just decoration, it's a biofilter. Moss absorbs heavy metals, ammonia, and airborne toxins from passing wind. It traps pollutants before they can even reach your nose, literally cleaning the air for you before it touches your lungs. Some species here, like Hypnum hootlandicum, are studied in biochemistry for their ability to break down particles other plants cannot. Even more fascinating? This moss releases antibacterial compounds into the air, meaning that just by walking nearby, your lungs are being exposed to subtle natural cleansers. And then there's reindeer lichen. It looks like a tiny coral reef on land, pale, soft, spongy. Traditionally, indigenous Sami people would use it in teas to cure respiratory issues. It's still used in natural medicine today for coughs, infections, and inflammation. But the real magic? This lichen only grows in air completely free of pollution. It's nature's air quality detector. If it's alive, the forest is clean. If it's thriving, the forest is healing. In Rondane, it's everywhere. Among the trees, you'll also find Angelica archangelica, an herb so powerful it was once believed to ward off the plague. Its scent? A mix of earth and citrus, with a whisper of spice. Just breathing it in can help open the lungs and calm the heart rate. And that's not just folklore. Scientific studies confirm its compounds help reduce anxiety and regulate cortisol, the stress hormone. The people who hike these trails often report not just better breathing, but calmer thoughts. They say things feel clearer, lighter. Not just in the air, in their minds. Then there's wild thyme. Tiny purple blossoms grow low to the ground, but their aroma is unmistakable. Warm, familiar, comforting. Thyme is naturally antibacterial and antifungal, and its essential oils have been used for centuries to support immune systems. Breathe it in here, fresh, wild, and clean, and you're getting a dose of nature's own medicine. Not from a bottle. Not diluted. From the source. Let's not forget the trees themselves. The Norwegian spruce doesn't just filter air. It emits compounds called phytoncides, natural oils that protect the tree from insects and decay. But for humans, they do something else entirely. They boost white blood cell count. They strengthen immunity. They reduce blood pressure. Just being in the same airspace as these trees triggers your body's defenses to wake up. To breathe deeper. To heal. There's a word for this in Japan. They call it Shinrin Yoku. It means forest bathing. No water. Just presence. You don't walk through the forest. You bathe in it. With your eyes, your skin, your breath. Rondane offers the most powerful version of this practice, not because it was designed that way, but because nature doesn't need design. She only needs space. And here's what's beautiful. Every scent you breathe in this forest has a purpose. It's not perfume. It's survival. Nature didn't just make beauty, she made function. Every leaf, every bark, every root plays a role in the balance of the forest, and now, in the balance of you. That headache? Maybe it's not dehydration. Maybe it's absence of fresh pine oils. That shallow breath? Maybe it's not stress. Maybe it's a call to return, to the moss, the wind, the time. So imagine this, you, lying on a thick bed of moss. Eyes closed. Lungs open. The scent of lichen dancing around you. The whisper of a breeze scented with birch and spruce. Your body, no longer bracing, but belonging. We'll talk more in the next section about how this air affects the body in real, measurable ways. Not just emotionally, but neurologically. How it changes your brain. Your immune system. Even your heart. But if you've come this far with me, and your breath has slowed even a little, hit that subscribe button. Not for me, for you. For the part of you that still believes air should be this pure. That trees should be this sacred. That healing should be this simple. And share this with someone who's forgotten what peace smells like. This forest may be far, but the feeling? You can bring it to them. Let's talk about what this place does to you, not just emotionally, but biologically. Because yes, the scenery is breathtaking. But what happens inside you when you breathe this air? That's the real miracle. First, your lungs. They are the first to notice the change. In a city, your lungs are under siege, absorbing dust, carbon, chemicals, even microplastics. You don't notice it, because it's constant. You've adapted to shallow breaths. But here, in Rondane, you take one deep inhale, and your body remembers. The lungs stretch. The alveoli, tiny air sacs, open wider. They don't flinch. They welcome. The air here doesn't carry warning signs. No irritants. No combustion particles. No artificial perfumes. Just oxygen, moisture, phytoncides. Every breath in this forest is a detox. It doesn't just avoid damage, it reverses it. Second, your heart. Studies show that breathing in forest-rich air, especially in coniferous forests like this one, causes a measurable reduction in heart rate and blood pressure within minutes. Your parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for calm, kicks in. The fight or flight response? It dissolves. Your heart doesn't pound. It hums. This isn't relaxation as in, sitting on the couch. This is physiological restoration. Your heart rhythm aligns with the rhythm of nature. That alone could save lives. Third, your immune system. One of the forest's most invisible gifts is what scientists call natural killer cell activation. Let me explain. Natural killer, NK, cells are white blood cells, your body's frontline defenders against viruses and tumors. They detect and destroy abnormal cells before they spread. Now here's the wild part. Studies in Japan and Scandinavia show that just 2 days in a forest environment, particularly one like Rondane, can increase NK cell activity by over 50%. And that elevated immune function? It lasts up to a month. Why? Because of phytoncides, those same oils that trees release to protect themselves, actually train your immune system to be sharper, stronger, faster. So the forest isn't just calming you. It's training you. Fourth, your brain. This may be the most beautiful part. Inside your brain are waves. They change based on your environment. In cities, beta waves, alert, stressed, focused, anxious. In forests, alpha waves, calm, creative, present. Spending time in clean, quiet nature like Rondane triggers alpha dominance, which improves memory, creativity, and emotional stability. You think better, feel better, solve better. That's why artists retreat to forests. Why monks meditate in mountains? Because the mind needs quiet oxygen to expand. And this forest gives it in abundance. Fifth, your emotional state. Depression, anxiety, burnout, overwhelm, they all shrink here. It's not magic. It's not a promise. It's chemistry. Your cortisol levels drop. Your dopamine receptors reset. Your serotonin levels stabilize. People who walk through forests like Rondane report reduced symptoms of depression, improved sleep, decreased anger and frustration, increased sense of connection and meaning, and the most profound feedback? They cry. Not from sadness. From relief. Because for the first time in years, they feel safe. Safe to breathe. Safe to exist. Safe to let go. Imagine that. A place where your cells, your brain, your breath, all whisper the same thing. You're okay now. No therapist. No prescription. Just air. And trees. and time. Of course, no place is perfect. Even this forest has harsh winters, difficult access, and few modern comforts. But maybe that's the point. It's not meant to be convenient. It's meant to be corrective. A reset button. For when you've been running too long, fighting too hard, forgetting too much. In the final part of our journey, I'll tell you how you can visit this forest. Where to go. How to get there. What to pack. Because this shouldn't just be a dream. It should be a plan. And before we move on, if any of this touched you, if you felt your body respond, even just a little, please do this. Tap subscribe. Not for me, but for you. To remind yourself to return. To not forget. To stay connected to the version of you that breathes deeper. And if someone you know is struggling, send them this video. Let this forest reach them through your kindness. Because no one should forget what clean feels like. So, let's say you're ready. You've listened. You've felt it, even through a screen. Now you want to breathe it, for real. Let me guide you. Getting to Rondane is both simple and sacred. Fly into Oslo, Norway's capital. From there, you can take a scenic train or rent a car. The journey northward is part of the transformation. You'll pass lakes, hills, wooden villages, and endless skies. Eventually, you'll arrive in a small town called Otta, the last breath of modern life before the forest begins. From Otta, you can hike, bike, or drive toward Rondane National Park. There are several trails, some marked, some wild. If you're new to this kind of terrain, stick with the Rondvasbu route. It's breathtaking, manageable, and leads you straight into the heart of the cleanest air on Earth. You won't need much: comfortable hiking shoes, a refillable water bottle, you can drink straight from the streams, a warm jacket, and space on your phone for photos, but more importantly, space in your soul for silence. There are cabins along the way, maintained by the Norwegian Trekking Association. They're warm, minimal, and surrounded by stars. No Wi-Fi. No noise. Just sleep. Just breath. Here's my advice: don't rush it. This isn't a race or a challenge. It's not a checklist or a hashtag. It's a conversation between your body and the earth. Let yourself walk slowly. Stop often. Lie on the moss. Touch the trees. Breathe like it's the first time you ever did. Because in many ways, it is. And here's the truth, my friend. Not everyone can go to Norway. Not everyone can afford the time or the distance. But that doesn't mean you can't breathe better. You can seek cleaner places where you live. You can surround yourself with plants. You can walk slower. Pause more. Listen to birds instead of engines. And most of all, you can remember that healing is not always a medicine. Sometimes, it's a moment. This forest is real. But so is your need to reset. So before you go, before this video ends, I want to invite you to do something small, but powerful. Click subscribe. Not for numbers. Not for vanity. But as a signal to yourself, that you care. That your breath matters. That peace is worth chasing. When you subscribe to this channel, you're not just joining a list, you're joining a tribe. A quiet rebellion of people who still believe in stars, trees, wind, silence, and simplicity. And if this video made you feel anything, if you felt your chest soften, if you imagined the moss beneath your feet, if you paused, even for a second, then share this with someone you love. Someone who needs a moment. A break. A breath. Send it to them. Let the forest move through you, into them. Let's breathe together, across screens, across oceans, across moments. Because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more forests. And more people who remember how to listen to them. So this is my final whisper to you. For now, take a walk. Find a tree. Close your eyes. Breathe in. And remember, the cleanest air on earth is not a place. It's a choice. A rhythm. A return. You are not broken. You are not lost. You're just tired. And maybe, you just needed to hear the forest say, "Welcome back, evergreen tree." This is smart nature care. We'll meet again in the next breath. Until then, subscribe. Stay wild. And stay gentle.